Thanks for joining us as we continue our adventure from Texas to Florida via the Gulf Intercoastal Water Way in our hybrid electric sailboat. We have had quite the adventure, seen some amazing and beautiful things, and most of all, learned to trust our boat and each other. This week we leave Taylor Bayou near Port Arthur, Texas, and arrive in Morgan City, Louisiana. Previously on Spoondrifter, we spent 3 years in a boatyard, bringing our 40-year-old hurricane-damaged sailboat back to life. Todd, I, and 4 of our 10 kids knew nothing about boats when we started, but with time, we have repowered, re-rigged, and turned this boat into a home that's ready for the next big adventure, before we sail to Florida and leave the U.S. for bluer waters. Many of you have asked why we haven't gone offshore instead of motoring for days in the ICW. Yes, it would be much faster to cross the Gulf in 5 to 7 days, but one of the keys to staying safe on the water is sailing in the right places at the right time of year. To help mariners figure this out, they have something called pilot charts. Studying the pilot charts for the Gulf of Mexico this time of year reinforced our decision to not make this passage. An offshore trip across the Gulf is more likely to be dangerous this time of year than at other times. After a couple days spent provisioning and troubleshooting our generator, we left Taylor Bayou and headed through the busy waters of Port Arthur, Texas. Once again, we were very glad to be able to communicate with the barges and large ships by name using our AIS receiver. The tow captains were very kind when I asked questions to understand who was doing what. No one wants us in the way, and they were happy to give us all the information we needed to stay safe. We're still having problems with our generator. We have tried everything. We've got different parts, we've got different belts, we've changed all the filters, we've looked at everything. And it's still giving us fits, so we're running the little generator behind us and got the head sail out because that helps us go faster and get where we're going today before it gets dark. Oh, what's the situation?
Breezy with a chance of cold. We're making our turn from our Y here and just cruising along, 3.8 knots. A little bit of motor sailing, but essentially putting amps back into the bank right now. The generator's charging it, but we're not drawing anything really, so that's good.
We're sailing. We're actually sailing.
We're actually sailing, yeah.
It feels like there's lots going on because we're watching so many different things and watching our sails and watching our depth and watching the chart and watching the motor and the generators. Like, there is so much that we're watching, but there's not much actually happening. So it's kind of a weird, tiring thing, even though there's not much going on. We are up early with the sun. We watched the sunrise as we were pulling our anchor that was stuck very well, which is nice. We like stuck anchors. We are on a 22-mile straightaway.
If we just had a Porsche motor in this boat, right?
We are doing battle with mosquitoes. We are tied up tight and wearing our raincoats and hats, not because it's cold. It's actually nice out. It's not too warm to have them on, but the mosquitoes are terrible. The mosquito repellent is not a repellent?
No, I think it's a condiment.
Makes you taste better?
Steak sauce.
Things are going okay. We wanted to give you an update on the generator situation. So, we originally had a problem when we left with the alternator and it wasn't charging the battery. I got that rebuilt and it worked for us to get to Galveston. When we left Galveston, we started having trouble with it bogging down when the chargers were running, when it was charging anything, it would bog down and turn off. We have tried everything since then. We have replaced all of the filters. We have looked at the gas. We have looked at the lines. We have looked at the air filters. What else have we done? Figure out.
Changed the oil. We did full service on it, you know. The only thing we haven't done is, which we're probably going to have to do next, is take apart everything from the line feeding it forward on the generator. So everything to the fuel pump, everything out of the fuel pump, clean what we can in the fuel pumps, you know, pop open maybe the injectors and clean those. So I think that it's a fuel starvation problem is what it is. I'm pretty sure.
But we can't figure out why. And so that's what we're looking at now. But as a result of that problem, we are having some issues with how far and how fast we can go. So the generator runs as long as it runs, and then we have to turn it off and turn on our small generator. And it can only support one charger, which means we can only do like 2.5 to 3 knots. We can't go fast. Because we can't go fast, we've had to readjust how far we go each day. So we went through and we adjusted every day's mileage to less than 25 miles. When we can put up the sails, that really, really helps.
Yeah, yesterday we were getting 5 knots pretty regularly with the head sail up.
It's also supposed to rain this evening.
Tonight and tomorrow. So clouds or solar up, which also reduces the power we have available to use.
So the kids are sleeping. They got up and helped us get the anchor up and then crawled back in bed. They're kind of bored. There is not a lot to do when we're just like hour after hour after hour doing this. They're watching a lot of movies, they're playing a lot of games, talking to their friends, drawing. Abigail does her nails. Like every day it's a different color. So today we think we might try them on the steering because it's straight and easy. So we'll see.
Look, Mom, no hands.
Todd's using Dallas. Dallas is the name of our autopilot and our good friend.
He helps keep us in the right direction.
Yes.
You know, that's, I mean, he like keeps that steady path.
Yep. Our solar's pretty wet, but it's ready to be deployed. The boom is out of the way. We'll get some solar on this. He was an hour away from us an hour ago.
Right? Well, you know, I can see for miles and miles and miles.
Coming through this congested area ahead of the bridge was a little crazy. We had called the bridge 4 hours ahead of time, and as we got close, the tender told us to just keep on coming and they'd have it open by the time we got there. Let me just say, it takes a lot of faith in humanity to just keep moving forward when you don't know if it's high enough. Turning up the Calcasieu River towards our anchorage, we were making good time. It's always nice to arrive well before dark when you're in an unfamiliar area. This anchorage is just below Lake Arthur.
The Calcasieu River over there.
You know, Todd's driving and we are riding the line. We even ran aground today because he was riding the line so close and missed it. And we got off, it wasn't a big deal. And then I'm driving and there's no boats coming towards us or behind us. And Todd's like, why are you in the middle of the channel? I'm like, because I like to drive in the middle. Right?
Sure. Yep.
Sometimes it's hard and stressful to live with you.
It's like that reel that I saw that says, you know, I love my wife, but sometimes she looks at me and I think she's thinking, I'm gonna kill him any minute now, or something like that.
Leaving the Calcasieu River, we pass through a floodgate. This helps to control the water in the GIWW from the river. Depending on which is higher, the river or the channel, the current can be too strong and necessitate the need to be locked up or down at this gate. These gates were open, but there was a mighty strong current flowing against us for the rest of the day. We have been passing so many interesting things each day. This is just one of them. The kids keep Todd and I well fed during the days. As we navigate this waterway, we are using Skipper Bob's guide. It's been really helpful. As the sun set on this day, we had not made it to our anchorage on the Mermentau River, and we found ourselves navigating in the dark for several hours before setting the hook. If you're interested in more details on this trip and some of the anchorages we used, you can find them in our captain's log on Patreon.
We're mostly loaded up. Got our water. One bag of laundry, got one more to go pick up. We got some food in the little blue bag underneath there.
I got my secret stash of candy.
Some gas. Abigail has a secret stash of candy.
That's not so secret anymore.
You guys are gonna have to get your life jackets on when we're ready, but we're not ready yet, so. All right, let's walk up here and see if our laundry is done. This is the store up here. They were really nice here, willing to let us get laundry. She also let us get water out of the RV spigots because we got gas down by the water's edge for the boat, but this looks like it's also gas. The gas we paid for down there, I think, was $4.39 a gallon for regular. Higher than the gas pump, obviously, at a store. But it was at the water's edge. So there's a convenience factor, right? So if you need to fill your propane tank, you can get that done here as well. And you're not gonna share?
Get up on plane, so it's a wet ride back to the boat.
Todd always calls me to let me know when he's on his way. It had only taken 15 or 20 minutes for him to go upriver to Morgan's Landing, so I was getting worried when 40 minutes later he had not come around that corner. Apparently, 26 gallons of water, 5 gallons of fuel, and all our laundry, provisions, and 3 people were a little much for traveling 5 miles on a bumpy river. After waiting out a storm for a few days on the Mermentau River, we left in brutally cold weather. It was only 39 degrees and the winds were still blowing 10 to 15, making it a miserable morning. We finally put a tarp up to help block the wind. It worked great and pushed getting an enclosure done further up our to-do list. This channel, we headed through another floodgate before tying up at the Shell Morgan fuel dock for the night. The current was screaming fast, and we were doing 7 knots by the time it spit us out on the riverside of the gate. Shell Shell Morgan has diesel, ethanol-free gasoline, and water. It's a little rough, but it's a welcome stop in an area with not many safe places to stay for the night. Our next stop was a shorter hop to the Charenton Drainage Canal. This stop was recommended by friends, and it didn't disappoint. We're a little close.
I think we got lots of scope out. I mean, we're about 5 to 6 to 1 here. I think that's all right.
We may have done this wrong. We're not sure. I guess we will see. If we are in the mud in the morning, we might have to drop that dinghy and push us out. But the tide isn't supposed to move a whole bunch, and we're at low tide. Hello, kitty kitty. What do you think? We are hoping that we're good. I think we're good. I need us to be good. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I don't think that's a step stool.
It's one that requires very careful use.
Well, kind of feels nice to not be like rushing the sun.
I know, right? Like, quick, go get the spotlight. Crap, we forgot to set up the spotlight. Is it charged? I don't know. Quick, grab the cord for it.
We have only made that mistake once.
I know. I'm just reenacting. Reenacting. Oh no! We're gonna die!
You may have noticed a lack of drone footage in our videos. That's not because we don't have one. It's because we're afraid to use it over the water, and this is a perfect example of why. Outside this morning already? You're a morning gal, huh?
Outside before I started that generator up.
Oh, well, how was rescuing your first drone?
Well, I sunk up to my shin in muck. That was gross.
Well, at least you were able to get it.
Yeah, I was pretty low. That's one of the hazards of trying to fly a drone without being in the picture. That was my bad.
Today, our goal is Morgan City. I'm a little nervous about Morgan City. It's a busy commercial area. The guide says you need to check in with the traffic channel that does that area, even though we're not commercial, just simply because it's a very narrow area with a lot of traffic, and so it just helps them plan everything and helps keep us safe too. It's like 27 miles. We were going to get an earlier start, but it was really cold, and then Todd lost the drone. That probably put us down half hour.
It's 8:30. We're not out of here too late.
No, it's not
That's
too
about
late.
8, so.
Yeah, it took us a while to get our anchor up that held really, really good in that Charenton Canal. I mean, that probably took us 45 minutes to get that anchor up. At this rate, we will be there at 3 o'clock this afternoon. It says we have 23 miles to go. So we're doing like 3.5 instead of 4.5 that we did yesterday. 3 o'clock's okay. But just what we're finding is that from the time when we leave in the morning, there's usually things that happen along the route that slow us down by an hour to even 2 hours with traffic and waiting for barges and those kinds of things. So if it says 3, it could be 5.
He's going 6.8 knots.
Yeah, I think the current's
If
going
he's
the
going
other direction.
6.8 knots, he has the current today and we don't. That's why we're struggling a little more. Right now we're at low tide, we're on a rising tide. So I don't know if that helps us or hinders us from here.
I, for one, was looking forward to tying up at the dock in Morgan City. This was one place we'd heard a lot about and knew we could safely wait out the coming weather, provision, and get some projects done. But first, we had to get there without running aground on the shoaling that extended south of the bridge. We had been warned about it in multiple places, but were quite surprised when the Berwick Traffic Control also mentioned it. The charts and notes on Navionics were accurate and helpful. Thanks for joining us for another episode, and we'll see you again next week as we make our way through New Orleans and out into the Gulf of Mexico.